Hey, Dan Meyer here, and today we're going to cover the topic data mining. Basically, we're going to do data mining 101 for virtual assistants. So if you are a virtual assistant and you're looking to add some skills that will allow you to manage more data, you want to get into just a little bit of the analysis work, of the finding data sets and doing analysis to be able to provide information for your clients. That's important stuff that you should be able to do. I'll talk about that. If you're looking to hire a VA to do data mining for you, this is important things that you should know, just general concepts about how to do data mining. I'm going to talk about how I did data mining for my clients, how I worked on one specifically, how we did some data mining for a business, a medium-sized business. And so in the next few minutes, we'll just cover a few topics like data collection, talk about how it's important to be able to make sure you collect the right data, where to store it, how to build models out of it, how to do the actual analysis, and then how to do the reporting of what you find. So when you get a bunch of raw data or information, you need to turn it into insights. And decision makers just need the bullet point, just need the high level. They don't need to know all the intricacies of all the data. So you want to figure out how you funnel that information to the top. So we'll talk about that. This is based on my background. Most of you know that I've been working with virtual assistants for over 10 years now. And before that, I spent about 15 years as a data analyst at Wells Fargo. I did a lot of huge, big data projects across the bank, doing some pretty cool stuff. I've also helped a large number of clients across the Philippines and Southeast Asia in doing data analysis. I've basically trained analysts for every big call center in the Philippines. I've trained analysts in Singapore and Malaysia, Indonesia, and Hong Kong. So I'm going to take some of that stuff I know, that big data at the enterprise or corporate level, and boil it down to what you can do for a smaller business. And really how a business analyst is needed to be able to do a lot of this stuff, and a VA can do what a business analyst does. So I'll talk about that in the next few minutes. Basically, step one is that you want to start collecting data. So to think about the data you need that will feed into your reporting, your analysis, and taking action that will give you some kind of value. What is it that you need to have analyzed? Do you want to understand social media patterns, behavior of customers when they're online? Do you want to look at demographic data to understand your target population? You want to understand the market better? Are you looking at information where you want to look at sales results? Whatever data you have to first collect it. You want to make sure you load that in some kind of data structure. In a big company, that would be a data warehouse where you put your data. But for most of us, it's going to be on some kind of documents where we're going to store it on the cloud. And when you have this data, you want to structure it. You want to organize it. You want to be able to put it into a view that's easy to understand. And to do that, you want to first get your data. So before you start thinking about what you want to solve, you have to ask, where can I find that data? There are a lot of free data sets out there. I actually did a video not too long ago about free public data sets, things like Google Trends and data.gov, Amazon Web Services, the US Census, UNICEF, the World Bank. There are hundreds of free data sets out there that can help you understand things like demographic trending and consumer trending, and looking at things like where populations are going and what the average age is of certain segments and where people from certain ethnic groups live, and whatever you might need to know about your customers, about the markets they live in, about what's happening around people trying to market to them, understanding the environments where you're going to do business. You can find free public data sets for that. All right, step two of data mining is data storage. Most of us are going to use popular cloud-based storage platforms. Like most popular are Dropbox and Google Drive. Places like OneDrive or iCloud, places where you can store data. This is going to be something where you're going to be able to have your VA access that data, or as a VA where you're going to store the data, or you can share it with your client in case they want to look at it themselves. Or you're going to be able to have more data put as you get more information. When maybe you're doing multiple data sets, maybe you're looking at data over time, you want to collect social media data month after month, you want to store it somewhere. So like I mentioned, the two most popular are Google and Dropbox. I actually did a video about this not too long ago where I talked about my preference for Google Drive over Dropbox. I covered basic use, syncing features, things that you need to understand about which ones to use. So you can check out the previous video for that. But bottom line is you want to make sure you have a good cloud storage. So step one, of course, is to collect the data. Number two is to store it. Number three is the analysis itself. you're going to need some kind of tool to do the analysis. Most of us probably will use Microsoft Excel, if not Google Sheets. Google Sheets is okay, but Excel is much better at analyzing data. Then, of course, if you want to go to the next level, if you actually want to use tools to analyze data, there are an unlimited number of tools out there that you can use, a lot of them free or cheap, to help you analyze data quicker, faster, better, stronger than you can do in Excel. These are called business intelligence tools or modeling tools. I'll have separate videos about those, but basically you want to think about, if your number one tool is Excel, it's like the hammer in your tool belt. And everything else, hammer can fix most stuff, but a hammer can't fix everything. So sometimes you need a different tool. Different business intelligence or data modeling tools are available to do data mining for analysis. But most of us are going to use Excel. So if you know how to use a spreadsheet, you can do basic, sums and calculations and formulas and pivot tables. You can do analysis. If you can do a pivot table in Excel, you're halfway to being a business analyst. So as a VA, that is like really skill number one. Step 4 of data mining is actually modeling. This is something where you can go about it one of two ways. You can basically use pivot tables to build models, which are very simple things in Excel to learn how to do, or you can start using modeling tools. If you're going to be doing any kind of really big data sets or working for a client who's got a lot of data, for example, if you're working for a medium-sized business or even a big business, you may have to have some knowledge of data modeling. SQL is the most popular data modeling language. Doing predictive models in things like Python or R. There's an alphabet soup of tools out there that you can use. The bottom line is data modeling is where you start taking the data and you sort it. You build representations and relationships. You show associations. You build rules around how data will do things. So for example, if you want to take a master list of everyone you ever talked to in your business and you want to figure out which are the ones that are the best ones to sell to based on their physical location, their demographic profile, their buying habits, everything you have about them, you put them through a model and it tells you which ones you should market to. That's an example of how you use modeling. For that, again, you can use Excel and pivot tables, but if you want to go bigger, bolder, use something like SQL or SQL. Step 5 of data mining is the reporting itself. This is super important because you want to be able to take all the data that you've done analysis on, everything you built models around, and you want to make sure that you synthesize that you take that and you bring it to the point where it's the top of the pyramid, where it's just the bullet points that you need for your client. You can do this using different reporting tools. It's very important to use visuals. Most of us know how to use basic Excel visuals like pie charts and line graphs and bar charts. That's what you want to do, summarize data in which people can make sense of it. People make sense of things based on visuals much more than they can looking at a data file in Excel. So you want to think about that kind of stuff. There's some great tools out there. My favorite is Tableau Public. But bottom line, you can go out there and use different data management reporting tools to help you refine what you do. If you just use Excel and stick things in PowerPoint, that's a standard way of doing it as well. But bottom line, you have to think about how you're reporting data. So those are the 5 things you have to do, right? It's not that complicated. You have to be able to take the data, you collect it, you put it in storage, you do analysis, you build models, and you report it. So that's basically the way it works. So if you have those skills, if you start thinking about what are the tools you need to do those things, you can be a virtual analyst / business analyst, a virtual assistant who can do business analytics stuff, which is really key to businesses, especially if your business is scaling and you want to have better insight. I'll give you an example of that. I'm going to walk you through a case study in the next video. Part 2, which will drop tomorrow, will be a case study on how I went through these 5 steps to help a medium-sized company figure out a challenge they were having and how they could scale their business using data mining. So if you want to get a hold of us right now, if you don't want to wait till the next video, you can do one of 2 things. You can text the word data to 26786. That's data to 26786, and you'll get a reply that will give you a form to fill out that you can use to tell us what you want to analyze. What data do you need to have looked at? What are the data sets around you that you need to help with an analyst or virtual assistant who can act as your business analyst to do that for you? Or if you want to get more skills, you want to learn more about how to be a virtual assistant who can do data analysis, send us an email at sonicva.com. It's sonicva.com. Or if you're in the US, you can text the word data to 26786. So that's my talk for today. I'll be back tomorrow with more. Go out and have a great day.